lleva a unos desconocidos a perpetrar un atraco en un banco. ¿Te suena el concepto de hipnosis?
¿Hipnosis?
Un hipnotista tiene la capacidad de influir en el cerebro. Sonido.
First of all, congratulations on your great work in so many aspects of the movie. But regarding the script, where did your interest in hypnosis come from? Is that something you believe in, or was it more like a fictional superpower for the plot?
Yeah, it was a fictional superpower. I wasn't. It was really. I came up with it because of the title. I was really admiring Hitchcock films and his one-word titles. Like Vertigo had just been released back, re-released in 2002 when I came up with it, and it had a one-word title again, like Psycho, like Frenzy, like Vertigo, and Spellbound. And I thought I want to make a Hitchcock-style film, but I need a one-word title that's very enticing like that. What title would he have used if he made movies for another 20 years? And then right away, Hypnotic popped in my head. I thought, ooh, that sounds kind of cool, but what does that mean? So I thought about it. I said, no, not hypnosis, but maybe it's somebody with an ability that's so advanced. And I came up with the opening scene in the bank. Oh, it's somebody you meet, they take all your money, they drive off in your car. You don't even remember meeting them. So I thought that would be a really interesting villain. So I wrote about 3 or 4 big sequences, including the bank, the scissor scene, the guy ripping his arm off, several things. Then I set it aside saying, oh, I'll finish it someday. And I went back to my regular sequels and stuff I was working on, Spy Kids 3, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and Sin City. And then, of course, 15 years goes by. And then I realized I'd forgotten about this script. So I picked it up again, finished it. And but then Alita happened. So that pushed that 3 years. And then COVID happened. That pushed that some more. So finally, I got to make it 20 years later, but I still always loved it. I loved it because I love the magic trick of movies, the sleight of hand. And I never wanted to do a movie about filmmaking, but this was as close as you could come because the audience pays money to go to a theater to be hypnotized by the filmmaker. They know it's a script, they know it's actors, but they want to believe it so much and be immersed in that construct that they want to laugh or cry or get scared or recommend it to their friends. And I wanted them to go some point into the movie knowing it's a thriller and go, oh, we've been hypnotized just like Ben, when they see golf carts and sets and actors, and it turns into like behind the scenes of how to make a movie. So I like that meta thing about movie making that I got to put in there. So that's what made me want to stick with it after all these years.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. And one thing I love about your movies is the use of practical effects. Your action sequences, like here, feel like more tangible. So, how was the challenge of creating a sci-fi movie about mind control without relying too much on CGI or digital effects?
I love that. I love it because that also what I liked about the idea is that you could make it very inexpensively because it's a very Hitchcock type idea. So that scene, like with the scissors, there's no visual effects. He has the scissors and then he doesn't have the scissors and then he has them again. And it's all editing, which I love. I'm my own editor. So any opportunity to film a sequence that's going to be completely sold by your shots, because I'm a cinematographer, the shots, the editing, the music, the sound effects, that's what I live for. I mean, that's my favorite kind of movie. So those scenes were very fun to put together. And we did it so fast. We didn't even measure things. So when he's like sitting in the chair and he starts to turn and then the whole environment changes, that was just done by eye. We didn't even match it up, and it matched perfectly. He even turned the chair the same way. But I don't know how we got that. But that stuff's really fun to discover when you're editing, little things that the audience will feel like they're seeing things because it's not a CG effect, and it's just you edit using your tricks of the old school tricks that no one would bother to use today because they use CG.
Yeah, I also love the tone of your movies being so playful, even bizarre. But how much did you let your style go free in this movie, and how much you had to maybe hold you back, like, hey, we shouldn't go that far in a solemn drama thriller like this one?
Yeah, the thrillers are definitely different because my movie is different from my other movies. My movies never have logic like this. They have dream logic. So like little kids can wear jetpacks and fly around and no one questions it, or mariachi can have a guitar case that fires missiles and you don't have to know how it works, or a girl could have a machine gun for a leg, you don't have to know how it works. Never follow it. One actor even came to me once in one of those movies and said, do I have to worry about, because he was firing, how many bullets I have left in my gun? I go, no, it's not that kind of movie. You have endless bullets. Where this one, you have to be more, in a thriller, you have to be more calculated for an adult audience so they don't just not believe anything anymore. But even with that, the hypnotic ability allowed for a lot of leeway because we kept changing the rules. You don't really know what all the powers even are until the very end. First you say, we can only do it with voice, and then or in person, or by touching you, and then it's through the phone, and then it's, keeps doing it in different ways. It keeps growing. So we got to have a lot of leeway with the logic, which is good, because I thought if I had to be too strict, then it would be very difficult for me.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know if over the years it's become easier or harder for you to have such control in all of those departments. But how much of that freestyle did you have in Mandalorian and Boba Fett compared to your own projects like this one?
Oh, when it's your own project, I can do all my favorite jobs. Like I can be the cinematographer, I can be the editor, I can. But even like on the Star Wars, I could edit my own stuff. The game, but you have editors, you have cinematographers, you have camera guys. I could have tried to operate the camera, but those shows are so big and they have to shoot so many days and for so long, and it's all out of order that I couldn't be there the whole time. And you go to look at the camera and it's on a crane because to make it easier to move around from set to set. So it's always on the crane. So there's 3 people that I got to operate it. So it'd be like, what guy am I going to be? Are you going to be the guy that operates the camera or the base or the arm? So it takes 3 people. So it's like, when I can do my own handheld stuff, that's more fun. But if it's a big movie, if it's a big show, like Alita was the same way. That camera was so heavy. I wasn't the DP or the cameraman. That thing was just so big. You needed like 4 people to operate it because it was a 3D camera. So we had great cinematographer, Bill Pope. A Mandalorian, I got to work with the guy who filmed Jurassic Park, Escape from New York, The Fog. I mean, I got to work with some cool people. So I like working with other people to learn from them and then take some of those ideas back. I brought some of those ideas back and actually used them on Hypnotic. So, it was a lot of fun to try different things. But then I like, just for the speed of it, like Hypnotic, we had to shoot super fast because our COVID kept shutting us down, and our budget and our shooting days shrunk so much. I had to move really fast. And that's why Ben Affleck was so great. He's from that 90s early, indie filmmaking scene like I am. He was used to making stuff fast too. So we just went back to the old days and shot it fast, and we had so much more energy and really, really fun to do it that way.
Yeah, and lastly, we have talked about Ben Affleck, and I agree that the casting couldn't be more accurate because, I always see Ben Affleck as the tormented hero, and William Fichtner really has the evil in his eyes. So what qualities did they possess that made them, for you, the right choice?
Well, I'd seen Bill in a lot of different things. He wasn't always the villain. He was usually not the villain. But I was just always a big fan of his and had been wanting to work with him for years. And I didn't know who I would cast in that role. That role was going to be so important. Whenever I wrote the script, I went, okay, we got to get the lead, which was going to be Ben. Eventually I got Ben. But this other guy who doesn't have very much dialogue, I got to get a really great actor for that. And Bill, when I saw the names on the list from casting the people, I was like, nah. And then I saw Bill's picture and name. I was like, oh, he'd be so perfect. So I FaceTimed with him. I talked with him for like 20 minutes and then said, okay, we'll see you in Austin. And he called his agent and said, I think I just got the job. I was like, yeah, you definitely get the job. He's the person I need. He has this magnetic quality to him. And he had fun playing it. He had fun. I mean, I was giving him a lot of direction, saying, look right into the camera and turn on your lighter and then just keep looking at it and then snap it close. And I said, now come watch it. So I made him watch it so he could see how he was doing. I wanted him to see how he looked on screen because I'm really capturing him in a different kind of way. I really wanted him to be larger than life. And he looked at it, he goes, I don't usually like to watch myself, but I like this. He loved what he was doing, and then he started really leaning into it. So they both, just possess superstar quality, and that's what you need to believe, for the audience just to believe that what they're watching is real. There's actors that really embody their characters and take it further and do surprising things. And Bill was having a ball. He just looked so happy. He would text me all the way during editing, how's it going? So he was super excited to check it out because he never got to do anything like that before.
El hipnotista hace que todo lo que ves y haces parezca que es normal.